A Sigma male does not walk away loudly. He does not announce the ending, beg for understanding, or create a dramatic scene so everyone can see how much he was hurt. He watches, he listens, he connects the pattern, and when the truth becomes clear, he simply removes himself. That silence confuses many people because they mistake his calm for tolerance. They think because he did not argue, he accepted everything. They think because he stayed composed, he did not notice the disrespect, the manipulation, the pressure, or the slow damage to his peace. But a Sigma male rarely reacts in the moment. He studies behavior over time. He gives people enough space to reveal who they are, and once they show him that access to his life is unsafe, unstable, or undeserved, he closes the door without needing revenge. This video explains 6 reasons Sigma males walk away silently and never let certain people back in. The first reason a Sigma male walks away silently is repeated disrespect. He may not react the first time someone speaks carelessly, ignores his boundary, mocks his nature, or treats his presence like something ordinary, but he notices it. He stores it quietly. He does not need disrespect to be loud before he recognizes it. Sometimes it appears in tone, timing, jokes, interruptions, or the way someone dismisses what matters to him. This is where people misunderstand him because he does not explode. They think the line was not crossed because he does not argue. They assume he will tolerate more. But his silence is not permission. It is observation. He is watching whether the behavior repeats, whether the apology matches the action, and whether the person understands respect without being taught like a child. A Sigma male does not want to convince someone to respect him. That is the difference. He believes respect should be natural, not extracted through long conversations. If he has to keep explaining basic decency, the connection already feels damaged. So instead of begging, he withdraws. Not because he is trying to punish the person, but because repeated disrespect proves the relationship is no longer safe for his peace. The second reason he walks away is emotional exhaustion. A Sigma male protects his peace because he knows his focus, clarity, ambition, and inner balance depend on it. When someone brings constant chaos, complaints, pressure, negativity, or unpredictable behavior, he feels the cost quickly. He may be patient for a while, but he will not let another person's storm become the weather inside his own mind. Some people drain him by demanding too much attention. Others drain him by creating drama wherever they go. Some drain him by being inconsistent, unreliable, or emotionally unstable. At first, he may try to understand them. He may give space, patience, and quiet support. But if the relationship keeps taking more energy than it returns, he begins to detach before anyone notices. His decision is not emotional cruelty. It is self-preservation. He knows that one draining connection can affect his work, his goals, his sleep, his mood, and his ability to think clearly. So he chooses distance before resentment grows. He would rather leave quietly than stay long enough to become bitter. When someone repeatedly costs him peace, silence becomes the cleanest exit. The third reason a Sigma male cuts someone off is control. His independence is not a performance, it is the center of how he moves through life. He needs space to think, choose, grow, and make decisions without someone trying to direct his path. The moment he senses pressure to become smaller, quieter, easier to manage, or more convenient for another person, he starts creating distance. Control does not always look aggressive. Sometimes it appears as guilt, sometimes it appears as advice that is really pressure. Sometimes it appears as jealousy, emotional testing, or subtle punishment when he chooses himself. A Sigma male notices these moves quickly. He does not need to prove he is free. He simply stops giving access to anyone who tries to make freedom feel like a problem. For him, control destroys trust. He cannot relax around someone who wants power over his decisions. He cannot build honestly with someone who uses fear, guilt, or pressure to shape his behavior. And he will not stay in a connection where love feels like a cage. When he senses that someone wants ownership instead of partnership, he leaves before the cage closes. The fourth reason is broken trust. A Sigma male does not let many people close. So when he does, it means the person earned a rare position in his life. But because access is rare, betrayal cuts deep. A lie, a hidden intention, a broken promise, or repeated inconsistency may not make him react immediately. But inside something begins to close. He listens to words, but he trusts patterns more. Someone can apologize, explain, and promise change, but if their actions continue to reveal dishonesty or instability, he accepts the truth. He does not want to live in emotional doubt. He does not want to question every answer, every delay, or every explanation. A connection that forces him to investigate everything no longer feels like peace. This is why forgiveness and reconnection are different for him. He may forgive someone internally because he does not want to carry anger, but that does not mean he will open the same door again. Once trust breaks, the relationship changes shape. He may remain polite, calm, and distant, but the old access is gone. He protects himself by never rebuilding on a foundation that already cracked. The fifth reason a Sigma male walks away is imbalance. He can give loyalty, attention, patience, and effort, but he will not carry a connection alone. When he notices that he is always the one reaching, listening, adjusting, forgiving, or keeping the relationship alive, he begins to see the truth. The connection is not mutual. It is being maintained by his energy. A one-sided relationship drains him because it violates his sense of fairness. He does not need constant attention, but he does need honesty. He does not need people to chase him, but he needs their effort to be real. If someone only appears when they need something, disappears when he needs support, or gives just enough to keep him around, he sees the pattern. He will not beg for balance. He will not ask someone to value what they have already been receiving. Instead, he becomes quieter. His replies become shorter. His presence becomes less available. Then one day, he is simply gone. Not because he stopped caring overnight, but because he realized the relationship needed his effort to survive while giving him almost nothing back. The sixth reason a Sigma male walks away is emotional games. He has no interest in mixed signals, silent punishments, guilt traps, jealousy tests, or behavior designed to force a reaction out of him. He can recognize when someone is not communicating honestly, but trying to control the atmosphere. Once he sees that pattern, his interest begins to disappear. This kind of behavior feels disrespectful to him because it turns connection into a guessing game. Instead of clarity, there is confusion. Instead of direct words, there are tests. Instead of peace, there is tension. A Sigma male does not want to decode someone who could simply speak honestly. He sees emotional games as a sign that trust and maturity are missing. When he identifies the game, he does not compete inside it. He does not chase the silence, reward the manipulation, or defend himself against emotional traps. He simply steps out of the pattern. His silence becomes the answer. His distance becomes the boundary. And once he realizes someone enjoys disturbing his peace, he removes them permanently. A Sigma male does not make final decisions based on one moment. He studies what repeats. Anyone can apologize beautifully once. Anyone can promise change when they feel access slipping away. Anyone can sound sincere after being confronted with consequences, but he knows words are easy when someone wants to keep what they are about to lose. This is why repeated behavior matters more to him than emotional speeches. If someone keeps crossing boundaries, the apology loses weight. If someone keeps draining his peace, the explanation becomes noise. If someone keeps hiding the truth, the promise becomes meaningless. He does not need to hate the person. He only needs to accept what the pattern is showing him. The moment he trusts the pattern, the relationship changes. He becomes less emotionally available, not as a strategy, but as a natural result of seeing clearly. He stops offering unlimited chances. He stops hoping one good moment can erase 10 harmful ones, and when the evidence becomes strong enough, he leaves without needing one more conversation. Many people misunderstand a Sigma male's silence. They think silence means he is unaffected, passive, confused, or willing to tolerate more. But often his silence is the final warning before he leaves. He is not ignoring what happened. He is processing the pattern, measuring the damage, and deciding whether the connection still deserves access to his life. He does not always express disappointment immediately because he does not like emotional chaos. He would rather observe than react. He would rather understand the situation than speak from anger. This calm can make people believe they escaped consequences, but what they do not see is that every small act of disrespect is being placed in a quiet mental file. By the time he finally walks away, the warning stage is already over. He has already seen enough. He has already tested the pattern in silence. he has already given the person room to correct themselves without being forced. So when he leaves, it can feel sudden to others, but to him, it was the slowest decision he ever made. A Sigma male does not only protect his present peace, he protects the life he is building. He knows that the wrong connection can damage his focus, slow his progress, disturb his goals, and pull him into emotional cycles that waste time. He does not see toxic people as small distractions. He sees them as threats to the direction he has chosen. This is why he becomes very selective about who stays close. He understands that proximity affects energy. The people around him can sharpen his mind or cloud it. They can support his discipline or weaken it. They can bring calm or create pressure. If someone repeatedly pulls him away from the person he is trying to become, he removes the distraction. His walk away is not only about what happened yesterday, it is about what he refuses to let happen tomorrow. He will not sacrifice his future for a connection that keeps pulling him backward. He will not trade stability for attachment. When he chooses distance, he is choosing the version of himself that cannot grow inside constant stress. When a Sigma male closes the door, it usually stays closed. This is not because he wants revenge, it is because he does not make that decision casually. Before he reaches that point, he has already observed, waited, measured, forgiven internally, and tried to understand the situation from every side. By the time he leaves, he has already exhausted the quiet chances he was willing to give. Some people expect to return once they realize he is gone. They think a message, an apology, or a sudden change in tone will reopen access, but they misunderstand him. He may forgive. He may remain respectful. He may even wish them well. But forgiveness does not mean reconnection. Once the trust, peace, or balance is gone, he does not rebuild the same bridge. The finality of his decision comes from clarity, not anger. He does not need to punish the person. He does not need to explain the ending forever. He simply knows what he experienced, what it cost him, and what he will not allow again. That is why certain people never get back in. The door did not close by accident, it closed because peace became more important than history. A Sigma male does not believe every ending needs a long explanation. If someone repeatedly ignored his boundaries, dismissed his concerns, or treated his calm like permission, he does not feel responsible for teaching them the lesson at the end. He already gave the warning through distance, silence, shorter replies, and reduced access. If they did not notice those signs, one final speech will not suddenly make them understand. This is why his exit often feels sudden to others. They were waiting for an argument, but he was already beyond arguing. They were expecting anger, but he had already moved into clarity. They thought there would be one dramatic moment, but for him, the ending happened slowly through repeated signs. The final disappearance was only the part they could finally see. His silence is not meant to confuse anyone. It is meant to protect his peace from becoming another debate. He understands that people who ignored his boundaries when he was present may also ignore his reasons when he leaves. So he saves his words. He lets the absence speak. He lets the closed door explain what repeated disrespect made impossible to repair. A Sigma male's calm nature often makes people assume he can handle anything. They bring him stress, emotional pressure, complaints, disrespect, and confusion because he does not react loudly. But his calm is not a dumping ground. It is something he built through discipline and self-control. When someone keeps using that calm as a place to release their chaos, he begins to withdraw. He may listen once, he may understand twice, he may give patience for a season, but if someone keeps turning his peace into a shelter for their disorder, he sees the imbalance. He does not want to become the person who absorbs everything while receiving nothing stable in return. Calm people still have limits. Quiet people still get tired. The moment he realizes his calm is being misused, he stops offering it freely. He becomes selective with attention, energy, and emotional space. He does not hate the person. He simply refuses to let their instability become his identity. To him, peace is not something to donate endlessly. Peace is something to guard, because without it, every part of his life becomes weaker. A Sigma male has little patience for fake connections. He does not want relationships built on performance, hidden motives, surface-level loyalty, or emotional acting. He can feel when someone is smiling on the outside but carrying different intentions underneath. He can sense when a connection looks good in public but feels empty in private. And once he senses that emptiness, he starts stepping back. Fake connections drain him because they force him to question what is real. He does not want to analyze every word, decode every mood, or wonder whether someone is being sincere. He wants honesty, even when it is uncomfortable. He would rather face a difficult truth than stay comfortable inside a polished lie. Fakeness creates mental noise, and he does not let noise live close to him for long. When he walks away from a fake connection, he is choosing clean reality over comfortable illusion. He does not need people to be perfect, but he needs them to be real. If someone changes faces depending on who is watching, hides intentions behind charm, or uses loyalty as a mask, he will not stay to investigate forever. He leaves because truth matters more than appearance. A Sigma male can be patient, but his patience is not endless. He may give someone a chance to correct a mistake, explain a misunderstanding, or grow through a difficult moment. But he does not confuse compassion with self-neglect. If the same harm keeps returning in different forms, he stops seeing it as a mistake and starts seeing it as a pattern. Repeated harm changes the relationship. The first time may hurt, the second time may disappoint. But after enough repetition, the pain becomes information. It tells him what the person chooses when they think he will keep forgiving. It tells him whether their apology has weight or only sound. It tells him whether staying would be wise or damaging. This is why he leaves without hatred. He is not trying to prove he is stronger. He is simply refusing to keep standing where the same wound keeps opening. He does not need another cycle, another apology, or another promise. The evidence is already enough. Once repeated harm becomes predictable, his loyalty ends and his boundary becomes permanent. A Sigma male is not afraid of being alone. That is why unhealthy attachment has less power over him. Many people stay in toxic relationships because they fear silence, distance, or starting over. He may feel pain when he leaves, but he does not confuse pain with a reason to stay. He knows solitude can hurt for a while, but the wrong connection can damage him for years. This makes him difficult to trap. Someone cannot keep him with guilt if he has already made peace with walking alone. Someone cannot keep him with fear if he knows his own stability. Someone cannot keep him with memories if the present keeps damaging him. He values connection, but not more than self-respect. He can love deeply and still leave completely. His solitude is not emptiness, it is recovery, clarity, and protection. When he chooses solitude over a draining connection, he is not rejecting love. He is rejecting the version of love that costs him his peace. He would rather rebuild quietly alone than remain attached to someone who keeps pulling him away from himself. That is why once he leaves, he often becomes stronger. A Sigma male may explain himself once, maybe twice, if he believes the person is capable of understanding. But he does not keep explaining the same boundary to someone who keeps crossing it. He does not repeat the same concern to someone who keeps dismissing it. At some point, the explanation ends because the pattern has already answered. This is where his silence becomes difficult for people to understand. They expect him to keep talking, keep correcting, keep fighting for the connection, or keep making his pain easy to process. But he does not believe every person deserves unlimited access to his thoughts. If someone ignored him when he spoke clearly, he sees no reason to keep spending words. When he stops explaining, it does not mean he has nothing left to say. It means he no longer believes the conversation can repair what behavior keeps damaging. He saves his energy for places where truth is received, not twisted. He would rather walk away with peace than stay in a cycle where every boundary becomes another debate. Freedom is one of the deepest values in a Sigma male's life. He does not want to be owned, shaped, pressured, or emotionally managed by anyone. He can love deeply, respect deeply, and stay loyal for a long time. But he will not trade his freedom for connection. If a bond begins to feel like control, the bond begins to lose him. This is why he reacts strongly to subtle pressure. Guilt, emotional punishment, jealousy, constant questioning, and attempts to reshape his choices all feel like warnings. He does not always confront these things loudly. He simply watches how often they appear. If someone needs to control him to feel safe, he understands that the connection is not healthy. The moment he feels his independence shrinking, he begins to detach. He may still be polite. He may still listen. He may still appear calm. But inside, a door is closing. He knows that if he keeps compromising his freedom, he will eventually resent the person. So he leaves before attachment turns into a cage he has to break out of later. A Sigma male can be deeply loyal, but his loyalty is not blind. He does not stay loyal to disrespect, manipulation, fake affection, broken trust, or repeated emotional damage. His loyalty is strongest when the connection is honest and stable. But once loyalty starts requiring self-betrayal, he understands that staying would no longer be strength. It would be surrender. This is hard for people to accept because they often confuse loyalty with tolerance. They expect him to stay because of history, memories, promises, or the good moments that once existed. But he does not let the past erase the present. If the present keeps hurting his peace, the past cannot be used as a chain to keep him there. When self-respect becomes threatened, his choice becomes simple. He may feel sadness, but sadness does not decide for him. He may remember what was good, but memory does not control his direction. He chooses the version of himself that can stand with dignity. If staying makes him smaller, leaving becomes the only honest decision. When a Sigma male cuts someone off, revenge is usually not the goal. He does not need to destroy the person, expose them, or make them suffer publicly to feel satisfied. His goal is peace. Once he understands that a connection brings more stress than stability, he removes himself. To him, the cleanest victory is not winning the argument. It is leaving the argument behind. This is why people sometimes mistake his exit for coldness. He does not chase closure. He does not keep checking whether the person feels guilty. He does not stay angry long enough to build a new identity around the pain. He simply removes himself from the source of disorder and returns to the quiet life he was trying to protect all along. His peace matters more than proving a point. That is what makes his walkaway powerful. He is not trying to be dramatic. He is not trying to make someone beg. He is not trying to create fear. He is choosing emotional cleanliness. He knows that revenge keeps the person alive in his mind, but peace allows him to move forward without carrying them. The final reason certain people never get back in is that a Sigma male does not leave casually. By the time he disappears, he has already thought deeply, observed carefully, waited quietly, and measured the cost. He does not close the door because of one bad day. He closes it because the pattern showed him that reopening it would damage his peace again. People may return with apologies, explanations, promises, or sudden emotional warmth, but he does not confuse a temporary shift with real change. He looks for consistency, responsibility, and truth. If those things are missing, he stays distant. He may forgive internally, but forgiveness does not mean the old access returns. Some doors close because they protected him when he finally respected himself. Once he is gone, he is not waiting to be convinced. He is not hoping for another cycle. He is not secretly leaving the door unlocked. His silence means the decision has settled. He has chosen stability over history, peace over attachment, and self-respect over familiarity. That is why certain people only realize his value after they no longer have access to him. A Sigma male does not walk away silently because he is heartless. He walks away because he has already seen enough. He noticed the repeated disrespect. He felt the energy drain. He sensed the control. He watched the trust break. He recognized the one-sided effort, the fake connection, the emotional games, and the pattern that kept repeating. And once the truth became clear, he stopped arguing with it. His silence is not weakness. It is the final form of observation. His distance is not revenge. It is protection. He does not leave to punish people. He leaves to protect the peace, freedom, stability, and self-respect he worked hard to build. Some people will call him cold because they only valued the version of him that stayed available. But a Sigma male knows that not every connection deserves access, and not every apology deserves another door. When he finally leaves, he does not need to look back, because the decision was made long before anyone noticed the silence.